Hi guys, it's Golden Roses. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about life path numbers and why that's important. I just wanted to say if you're new here, welcome. And this channel is mostly going to be health and fitness, girl boss, bro boss if you're a guy, law of attraction, spiritual awakening, that kind of thing. But today I wanted to talk about life path numbers because there's a lot of people that are unhappy, and I thought this might help. Might help make you happy. We don't want you unhappy here. Anyway, so people always say to follow your passion, and that's true. And if you follow your passion, the funny thing is when you look up your life path number, you find out you're actually already following your life path. But if you don't know what you want, a good way of doing it is just to what you do is you tally up the numbers with your birthday. You take your birth month, the day, and the year. You add all those numbers up and then you'll get like a double digit. So if it was 13, you would then add those two numbers, the 3 and the 1, so you'd have life path number 4 because you want to get it down to a single digit. And why that's important is science says that energy can't be created or destroyed, and it also says that everything is energy. That includes us and the donuts you ate, and that I wish I ate. So what happens is there's clues in your birthday and your name to where when you calculate the numbers all out, it tells you why you came here. Because you existed before you came here, before you were born. You just don't remember. But the clues that are in your name and your birthday end up telling you why you're here. So this is why when you follow your passion, if you then calculate your life path number, you're like, whoa, I'm already following it. But if there is an area in your life that you're dissatisfied with, then it just means you need to tweak that area. But they're really accurate. Mine even told me I was opinionated, and I'm like, yup. So yeah, you guys you can tally it up yourself, or you can Google it. If you Google it, some of those websites will just do if you enter in your first, middle, and last name and your birthday, they'll give you your whole chart, like your destiny expression number, all that stuff, so that like life path number, personality, and then it's really fascinating and really accurate. And this is why your inner guidance system, like your intuition, angels, spirit guides, whatever you want to call it, your higher self, it's when you listen to it, it feels right. And when you follow your life path, your passions, you're happier and it feels good because it's what your soul planned ahead of time to come here and do. People have this misunderstanding with predetermination. They think God's trying to force me to do something, and that's not actually it. It's that your soul, you chose this before you came here. So you're actually just following the plan that you laid out. You do have free will, which is why you could just, choose not to follow it, but you won't be as happy as if you followed the plan that you picked out before coming here. This is why a lot of times people that follow their passion are successful, whether they want to be a homemaker or a CEO, whatever. If they're doing what they came here to do, they're successful and they're happy with it. So yeah, you're basically just following out the thing that your soul picked out. And the thing is, the person you were meant to be with, if you want to be with somebody, they did the same thing before coming here. So you both agreed to meet at a certain time and place. This is why a lot of times people, soulmates, twin flames and stuff, they'll be like, oh my God, this weird thing happened. We met this way, or there was all these clues in childhood. That's another video. But that points to this person or things that you wanted to do, or oh my God, foreshadowing about my kids, all this stuff, because it's planned out. I mean, what you eat and wear, no, unless it was life-changing, that's, you just do that, whatever. But I mean, there's a lot of stuff that is fated and planned out to where if you follow your life path, there is a certain ease. You still have hardships, but you're more willing to overcome them because you're going where you want to go instead of just spinning your tires, going in circles, not going anywhere, or going downhill. So yeah. And the other thing about your inner guidance system is it's like before you came here, you told your spirit guides, angels, even if you don't believe in that, you have intuition. So it acts as your coach. You're like, I want to be a basketball player, I want to be an athlete, I want to like win this, blah, blah, blah. And so they're like, okay, we'll guide you. And if you listen to that, what happens is you help other people win the championship on your team. They help you and you get what you want and you're happy if you follow the guidance. If you don't follow the guidance and you're busy cussing at the referee, which symbolizes focusing on what you don't want, complaining about stuff, or focusing on the problems rather than solutions or getting to where you want to go, you can't hear your inner guidance. And if you're focused on the other team, like, why aren't you doing this? How come you won these games? Or the haters in the audience booing, or the people that are inflating your ego cheering you on, but you're not listening to your guidance, it distracts you. Meanwhile, you're not helping the people that you were meant to help. They're not getting a chance to help you, so you don't get where you want to go. And then it's like, why am I not being guided? But you are, but you can't hear it. You're distracted by all the noise, which creates the illusion of separation, and you feel alone, but you're not. It's just, you're listening to the wrong thing. Another analogy, I'm an author, so I'm giving you analogies, about meeting your soulmate is, before you came here, you agreed to meet at a certain time and place. It's like that movie, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, with Jim Carrey and Kate Winslet, which I love. Spoiler if you haven't seen it, but I have to tell you because it's good for this, and it's accurate. So, in the movie, they had sort of a good relationship, and then it went bad. So she gets her memory wiped because she's like, they broke up and it was painful and she didn't want to remember. And then he's all offended that she got her memory wiped. So he goes and he gets his memory wiped. But as he's doing it, at first it shows bad times. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna forget you. And he's like, and it shows their memories. But then it starts going back and starts showing the good times. And then he realizes he still loves her and he doesn't want to forget. It's a sad movie. But anyway, so in there, they're running through his memories trying to hide, like in childhood and like places she wasn't, to try to, so that he can hold on to some memory of her. And in the very last scene, the last memory of her that gets wiped is the day they met. And she whispers in his ear, meet me in Montauk. That way they can find each other. So in the movie, the way it starts, I said spoiler alert, so you know, in the movie, the way it starts, they're both going to Montauk. They don't know why. They are drawn to each other. They don't know why. But they're in this right time and place because they agreed to be there. It's the same thing. It's like the things that interest you, like what you want to do with your life, the type of person you want, the things that are calling you, pulling you, it's not an accident. It's like you planned it that way. So it is set, so it's kind of like not having free will, but it is because you picked it out and you do get to choose if you want to embrace it or ignore it. But if you follow your life path, you're going to meet the person that you're meant to find. This is why people, instead of freaking out about not having someone, which, you know, I get it. You can get lonely or feel like people don't want you. But the thing is, if you just focus on yourself, like becoming the best version of yourself, really figuring out what you want outside of a partner, like you can want a partner, but you like what you want to do with your life and all this stuff, it makes you really happy. You go where you're meant to go, and then at the right time and place, you meet that person. And don't worry about the other person, like, well, what if they're not working on themselves? The universe or God will ride their ass to get them in the right spot. That actually happens to me, like my twin flame's higher self. It was like I was procrastinating, and so yeah, like the universe basically stepped in. It's like there's people that need to be helped, and your twin flame's been waiting a long time. So yeah, it's if you're paying attention to the guidance, they're not going to let you or the person just drag your feet. They're going to be like, okay, it's time to really get going. This is why if you stay in a relationship longer than you're supposed to and it really sucks, it just gets worse and worse. Partly because no effort's being made on one or both parts, but also like if you aren't supposed to be there anymore because you learned the lessons and you're taking too long to get out, the universe will make it really uncomfortable. Same thing with your job, to where at some point you're just like, I can't take it anymore, and then you leave or they leave because it's long overdue. You learned the lessons. It's time to move on and to go down the path you were meant to. So yeah, and the thing about free will, if you choose not to follow the path you chose, is you actually kind of don't have free will anyway, because society's programming, like with your parents and society, the way everybody's programmed to think a certain way, behave a certain way, even if it doesn't make sense or it makes them miserable, it's like they're like, oh, okay, I gotta be this way or do this or whatever. So it's like your subconscious is running on these old programs. And unless you rewire them with affirmations and subliminals, you're just basically like a little robot doing what society programmed you to do. This is why there's a lot of unhappy people and discontent people, because most people don't want to follow some like blueprint that, you know, the government or whatever made. So, and I'm not saying be against the government, I'm just saying, like, when I was growing up, the only thing that was offered to me was you have to be a homemaker, you have to get married, you have to have kids, feminism is evil. So I grew up being raised a certain way, so I'm like, oh, okay, this is my path I'm supposed to go down. Even though I really wanted success in a career. I like kids too, like I wanted kids. And it was only when I got older that I realized like I could have both. Because like I love kids, but for me it's like I also need that career thing, you know, because that fulfills me. So it's kind of like whatever you're programmed with, like whether it's a certain religion or a certain this, or the medical community says this particular thing, please listen to your doctor. I'm not saying don't, but I'm just saying like everybody hears a certain thing and they're like it must be the way, and you definitely should listen to people that know what they're talking about. But it's also a good idea to do your own research, because they're also repeating what they have been programmed, and so it's really good to do your own research and find out, hey, is this true? Does this make sense? Or even if it is, it's like, does this work for me? Yeah. So I just wanted to tell you guys that, because even though life has hardships, whatever path you choose, there is a certain flow and peace when you're on your life path. Like even if your income isn't where you want it at the moment, or you're not with anybody, it's like if you know you're going in the right direction, you know all that stuff is coming, and you can find little things each day to just be happy for in the moment. It doesn't mean you use gratitude as an excuse to be complacent and not aim for anything. No, you appreciate what you have now, but you strive for more and to be more. So yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know that, so that if you're unhappy, just maybe see if it could just be a rough patch, but maybe make sure that you really are on your life path, that you're following your passions. And I'm talking about like your soul passions, not the southern hemisphere joy. Nothing wrong with that, but like you want to make decisions with your heart, except when you're crossing the road or signing legal documents, then you use your head, obviously. So thank you guys for watching. This will mostly be a positive channel. It's just occasionally I really do have to talk about certain subjects that aren't always addressed in this community, just because when I was going through some rough stuff, certain things weren't being addressed, and I was like, somebody's got to make a video on this to like, you know what I mean? And I was just like, ah, there's enough YouTubers, they don't need me or whatever. But there were certain things that weren't being addressed, and I'm like, oh, it's because it's my experience, I'm supposed to share it. Just like they share their experiences. Like if you want to win the lottery, you would go on a different channel with someone who's actually won the lottery, and they can tell you how to do it, you know? But like everybody's got something to share and something to say, so it's like, yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe, and definitely please comment and tell me about different clues in your childhood or foreshadowing that told you about either who you ended up with, your kids, or just like what you wanted to do with your life, or an event that happened where you're like, you just know that it was fated, it was planned out, it wasn't just a choice, you know, or some random thing. I love hearing stories like that. And if you feel somebody could benefit from this, please share, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much. Bye.